Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hey, hey, welcome to the New World Sounds Show. I am your host, Mike the Millionaire. We bring you the best music from North, South, and Central America and the Caribbean islands. Today, we're going to be blessed with a member from the legendary group, the Five Satins. Okay, so I advise y'all to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, man, all my old school doo-wop fans out there and family and friends, I know y'all are going to really enjoy this show because this particular group, I mean, we all listen to, the shows when they play those classic doo-wop songs from back in the days. But this particular group, they made a song that is, I would say, the most popular and also the number one doo-wop song of all times. And tonight, I have a member of the group right here. And right about now, I'm going to introduce my good friend, Richie Freeman of the Five Satins. All right. Now, Richie,
Hey, how you
how
doing?
you doing?
All right.
Good. How are you?
Everything's good.
Yeah. Oh man. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, man, you are a an icon,
All right,
and
thank you.
your group, man. I'm telling you, anytime I turn on the TV and they play those classics, this is like the main song. Um,
Right.
tell me how the group. I know your group started in Connecticut. Um, how did y'all link up? How did the group form?
Well, let me go back in time. I didn't make I did record in the Still Tonight with Fred at that time.
Mm,
The group had already been in existence for about 2 years
mm,
in the Haven, and I joined Fred 2 years after In the Still Tonight came out To be exact, I joined him along with Wes Forbes. He and I used to sing in a high school group called the Starlocks. We both joined the Satins on a cold winter night, December 15th, 1958.
Mm,
And we went to Fred's home, and there with Fred was Louis Peoples and Sylvester Hopkins. Louis
mm,
sung baritone, Sylvester Hopkins sung bass. So when we joined, Wes Forbes sung low tenor, and I sung high tenor.
mm.
And
Wow.
I more or less took the place of Nate Mosley, who sung with Fred in a movie shot was called Sweet Beat, and that's the one people see on YouTube. It's
Mm.
Louis, Nate Mosley, Sylvester Hopkins, and Fred. And that's
That's the one in black and white.
yes, yes, yes. Now that's not me in the glasses. That's not me. That's Louis.
Okay.
A lot of people think it's me, and I'm not the one to take
Right.
credit for something that I didn't do. I wouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Because looking at it, I said, oh yeah, that must be him with the glasses.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not you.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Now, are you related to there's another member of the Five Satins.
No, I know who you're going to say.
Jim Freeman.
No, I knew
Okay.
him and I knew his family, but no, we're not related.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe that's how you came to
No,
be in the group. Was okay.
no.
Yeah.
See, on
Yeah.
the original recording, I'll tell you who did the original recording with Fred. It was Jim Freeman, as you mentioned. He sung
Mhm.
bass. Eddie Martin, real light-skinned fellow. If you see the old album cover, he sung baritone. He's the one that has that shut up and shove it up. That's his voice that you hear primarily throughout the song. And then the high tenor was Al Demby, and Fred did the lead. And there were only four singers on that recording. Only
Mm,
four.
okay.
And the fifth person who played the piano was Jesse Murphy.
Mm.
Okay.
Now, are all of those members still living?
No, of the names I just mentioned, Fred Paris passed away 2 years ago in January.
Mm-mm.
Jim Freeman is still alive, and Eddie
Mm.
Martin's still alive. Jesse, I'm not too sure. Al, I believe, is still alive. I think he lives here in New York, but um, Fred unfortunately passed away, and I miss him
Mm.
dearly.
Wow, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Now, I think I remember reading in the information that you gave me that that particular song, "The Still of the Night," was the B-side
That
of
was right.
a
When they
single.
first started playing, when the song first came out in '56, they played the flip side, the Jones Girl, and the DJ in Springfield, where it actually got started in Springfield, Massachusetts, the DJ turned the record over and he played "It's Still the Night," and after that, he got a lot of requests for that song to be played, and that's really how the song got its start. And it wasn't on the label that it was known for. It was recorded in the Haven, or let's say East Haven, at a church called St. Bernadette's Church in East Haven. It was actually recorded in the basement of a church. And Marty Kugel was the producer and was on the Standard record label. As I said, the song got a lot of play in Massachusetts. Then it caught on gradually. And then Marty took it to Al Silvers, who had at that time Ember Records, and he sold the master to Al Silvers in New York, and it came out again the second time on the Ember label. That's what it was known for from that period of time.
Mm. Wow, because yeah, I always thought that was, the main song. I never knew that that was the B side.
Right.
Wow,
Okay.
interesting, interesting, man. So you say you joined the group in 56
58.
or 58. Okay.
The song came out 56. I joined, let's say 6 months after I graduated from high school, along with
Mm,
Wes Forbes.
mm.
I was 17 at the time.
17.
Hmm.
Wow. Mm,
But you see, I knew Fred for a long time because his parents and my parents and myself used to go to the same church, St. Luke's Church, and Fred's house was on Sperry Street, right behind the church. So
mm,
every now and then I'd walk by and I'd see Fred and we'd talk. So that's how I got to know him in that way. Prior to that, I had never sung with him, but I admired his voice because he used to sing with a group called the Scarlets that came out in the Haven,
mm,
and they were on the Red Robin record label, which was owned by Danny Robinson in New York City on 125th Street, and they came out with quite a few singles. The one that the group The Scarlets was known for primarily, the record was called Dear One. That came out in
mm,
1950. I think it came out in 1954, 55, within that period of time. And that was Fred's uh, first vocal group.
mm.
And
No,
knew Fred. So when the record came out, I bought the record and I taught myself how to play piano on that particular record.
really.
Yes, no
Wow.
lessons, not like that. And I played it every day. My mother said she got tired of me playing the record and playing the piano, and I got it down pretty good. Richard,
Mm.
take that record off. Tired of hearing it. You know. Then
Wow.
here I am 2 years later singing with the man.
Mm. Yeah, I never knew you played an instrument.
Yes, I used to
Mm.
play. I also played Hammond organ.
Oh, Hammond.
Taught myself that.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. You taught yourself how to play two instruments.
Right.
Wow. Amazing.
No school, no lessons. Just picked it up. And what I did as I was coming along in my earlier years, we had an old upright piano. So what I
Mm.
would do, I would hit different notes, and I would learn what the note was, like C, D, E, F, G, and then I taught myself that. Also, going to music classes in school. But basically, I taught myself the chords of the piano, and I played the chords with my right hand. I played the bass with the left. I did so, but I basically taught myself the basics per se. Never took a
Mm.
lesson. Never took
Mm.
a lesson.
Mm. Wow.
Neither on the B3. I never took a lesson on that.
Mm. Wow. Interesting. And you also, I remember you telling me that you also have a background in audio engineering.
Yes. How that came to be, I moved here to New York in 1977 because the group had stopped performing then because we went through various changes. There's a lot. There's a lot that leads up to that. And then when I moved down here, I gradually started working at this club called Sweetwater's in the latter part of the 80s. This club, the name I just mentioned, is where Clive Davis discovered Whitney Houston.
Mm.
After that, in 1984, her mother was performing at the club, and Whitney got on the stage and sung "The Greatest Love,"
Mm.
that particular song. Well, from there is the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
And I came into the club in 87, 88. And how that happened, a friend of mine said we should go down and check the club out. And he knew the lady that was booking the club in the acts. And I met the manager of the club too. So I went to see this particular night. I'll never forget it. It was in July of 87, July of 88 or 87, one of those 2 years. But nevertheless, the group that was performing was the Cuba Gooding and the Main Ingredient.
Mm.
During the first show, the third number, Cuba had Cuba being Cuba Gooding, he said the sound system sounded like a bunch of garbage cans.
Mm.
I just sat there and I fell out. And then after the show was over, I had a chance to meet the manager, Gene Lewis, and we spoke. So he said, "Rich, you know how to run a sound system?" I said, "Yeah, I have a general idea." And the guy that was doing the system, I think they had hired him the day before or the same day that they brought in Cuba Gooding and the Main Ingredient to perform for 2 days, Friday and Saturday.
Mm.
So Gene said, "Well, Rich, I'll take you once downstairs. I want to introduce you to Charlie Allen, the owner. And with your knowledge, you might be able to get the job." I said, "Okay." So we went downstairs to Charlie's office, and Gene said, "Charlie, this is Rich Freeman. He knows how to run a sound system. You think you'd be interested?" So Charlie said, "Rich, the guy upstairs, we just hired him. He doesn't know what he's doing. Do you think you could run this system?" I said, "Yeah, I think I could. Plus, I used to sing." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." "Okay, I'm gonna fire him tonight. You start tomorrow." And that's exactly what happened.
Mm.
Just like that. So the next day, I went in about 12 o'clock, and the guy that was working the bar, Arnold, he was the one who showed me the rudiments of the system, from A to Z,
Mm.
the basics, put it that way. So I learned that. So what I did before the group came in later that afternoon, I went in about 1 o'clock. I reset the stage, set the microphones up, turned the system on, and I sung in each mic to make sure I could hear myself clearly and set it up so it'd be the way it should be. Okay, showtime. Bring on, plus I was the MC and sound engineer, and I had a booth in the back of the club. So I brought Cuba Gooding and the Main Ingredient on stage, and after the first or second song, Cuba said, "Rich, system sounds good." I said, "Thank you." And after that, the rest was history.
Mm. Mm. Wow.
And I
Amazing.
worked that club, and the acts that came through, numerous amount. For example, the Dells, Ray Goodman and Brown, as I said before, the Main Ingredient, the Manhattans,
Mm.
um, oh man, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And
Mm.
these groups came through after they'd been out, let's say about a year or two after their records were big hits. And they came through every Friday and Saturday. It was a different group every single weekend. 2
Mm.
shows, 9 and 11 or 10 and 12. And you could not get in the door either one of those shows. They were sold out. You couldn't
Mm.
get in. And when you
Mm.
walked in, was a big bar, a bar in the front. Then you had an aisleway to walk into the club. And the club held about 200 or 300 people. And you had to make a reservation. If you didn't make a reservation, you couldn't get a seat. So they had a big glass overlooking the club, and they had speakers in the bar. So you could see the show and hear the show and have your drinks at the bar. And the people in the restaurant part had drinks and food, what have you. And they watched the show. And I ran it.
Mm. Wow.
And when I told them the various groups that came through who I used to be with, they were surprised. I said, "Yeah,
Mm.
man, I was out there a long time ago." I said, "The songs that you sing, we used to sing in medley, so I know your songs." So they didn't have anything to worry about because they knew I knew what they were doing. But what I
Mm.
did that I never told anybody, I bought a tape recorder, double decker, hooked it into the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first or the second show I recorded on Friday. Took the tape home. I had a tape recorder at home. Played it. I was up maybe about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, listening to it very closely, so I would know who was singing what was singing who. And then on top of that, in the booth over my head, I had a speaker, so I could turn the volume up or turn it down, so I could hear what they were singing. Aside from me hearing them from the stage, okay. So that way, whoever sung what, I knew what was what on that stage. I never had any problems.
Mm.
Some
That's smart.
came through for the sound check on Friday, you know, they saw what was what, and they felt relieved to know that somebody knew what they were doing. Because I know
Mm,
when they traveled to various clubs, they told me a lot of times they didn't get the sound right, or the person didn't know what they were doing and know what was what. I said, well, I know your songs anyway. Like I said, I
mm,
used to sing them with my group, and I didn't tell them I recorded the songs, but I said, don't worry about it, I got you covered. Yep.
mm. Wow. Yeah, that was smart. Record it, and then how to do
Exactly.
those shows when they come up again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Interesting.
And then
And
with the Satins, we when I joined them, I joined them like I said with West in '58, and we did a lot of shows, and we did the Howard Theater, we did the Apollo Theater naturally, and my
mhm,
first experience with the group at the Apollo Theater on the bill was the Isley Brothers with Shout, Little Anthony Imperials with
mm,
Tears on My Pillow.
mm,
On the show also was a lady by the name of Loretta Long as a female act. And
mm,
also on this show, a group I'll never forget, even to this day, the Flamingos. They
mm, mm,
most dynamite group I'd ever seen. Nice
mm,
guys, dress sharp, sing, and they also played instruments as well. And they had some dynamite routines.
mm,
And every time they performed, that as they like when they were on stage, on the wing at the wing of the edge of the stage, I'd watch them. I'd watch the Isley Brothers, watch the Imperials, just see how they were doing to get different ideas. But the
mm,
was knocked me out. Plus,
mm,
they weren't like you couldn't talk. They were regular guys like you and I, that kind of thing.
mhm. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That makes all the difference too when people are
Yes,
down to
it does.
earth.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
because so many people in the industry, they think that you can't even talk to them. They're
Yeah,
God's gift to the world, and
right. Now they
you
were
know,
regular guys.
mm, wow. And now you're still performing, right?
No, we retired, if you want to call it, in 2017, and our last performance was at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And
And
then we did it right. Yeah, that was our last actual live performance in the sense of,
that's the one we have queued up right now.
no, no, no. The one that you have queued up now, let me explain to you about that. TJ Lubinsky, as a lot of people have seen shows throughout the United States and overseas, uh, had these PBS shows on here in New York, Channel 13, and also Channel 21 out in Long Island. I know various channels throughout the country. We did the third show,
Mm,
and they titled that particular one American Masters Rock Rhythm to Doo-Wop. So now that one that you're about to see, he brought his whole crew to the church where the song was recorded in 1956.
mm,
That was really our last performance, per se.
mm.
And
Okay.
you'll see, and
So,
we did it live on the high altar upstairs in the church of St. Bernadette Church.
mm, wow.
Okay.
So hold that thought. I'm gonna cue this up and
Okay.
let the viewers see that particular performance and also see you singing. Give me 1 second. Yeah, queued up. Present. Just give me a little second. They're having a little technical issue. Just give me a
Understood. No
second.
problem. I'm gonna take a little sip of some juice.
Okay, I'm gonna mute your mic while we play this, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
My name is Fred Paris, and I give you my song, my life's work. Thank you so much. In the still of the night, I held you tight. 'Cause I love you so. Promise I'll never let you go in the chill of the night. I remember.
Yeah. So that was you
Right.
in that last scene that we
Performance.
saw, that last
Right.
yeah. And let me just exit out of this solo layout.
It's me in the middle.
Now I'm getting some feedback in your background. Can you turn that I think it's your TV maybe?
Turn it off? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How's that?
Much better, much better. All right. Yeah. So I noticed when you watched that video clip, they were talking the lead singer was talking about how they were allowed to use the basement of that church
Right.
to do a performance, and he said he felt that the song was blessed.
That's
You
where
know,
the song was recorded. That's where the song was recorded in 1956 in that particular church, St. Bernadette's Church in East Haven.
wow,
So
nice.
we turned back, and like he said, he felt as though the song was blessed due to the fact we recorded in a church, and
Hmm.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, indeed, and that song is definitely stood the test of time.
Oh yes, yes, yes. It was in. I just happened to read up on it. It was in the Jackson's 5 movie. Boys the Men did it, and also they had it out as a single,
Mm,
and it sold well over 5 or 6 million copies on its own.
mm,
Plus, it was in the movie Dirty Dancing. They gave Fred a gold album because that song helped sell the song in the movie Dirty Dancing,
mm.
and the song itself got a pretty good play.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, amazing.
And many people have recorded that song.
Now let me ask you: has that particular song, not just so much that particular song, but your group in general, did your group experience the same fate as a lot of groups from that era? And actually, really, just in general, a lot of artists didn't really get uh, their fair monetary compensation.
I would yes say yes. Um, we weren't taught or shown anything about publishing, the rights to the song, none of that. And it was just how things were at that time with 95% of the groups that came out at that time.
Hmm.
and I wouldn't have gotten anything of it because Fred wrote the song, and rightfully so. As time went along, he was able to get his writers' royalties from the publishing companies that have the song, even to this day.
Mm.
But the only way I was compensated in regards to being with the Satins is when we performed live in concerts, theaters, what have you.
Mm.
As far as recordings, no. And we made a lot of recordings, and we changed the name of the group about 3 or 4 times. I,
Mm.
I was with Fred from 1958 until around 1977, and we changed the name of the group about 3 or 4 times and came out with different records. And on some of the records, we
Wow.
performed, we played instruments and sung,
Mm.
self-taught.
Wow.
Okay,
Nice.
a
Mm.
lot of people don't know that.
Mm. I know that you were also, you were telling me last year that your particular group, one of your songs, I think it was that particular song, was featured in a commercial.
Yes, not that particular song. Um, it was I'll be seeing you. That's a
Mm.
well-known standard, and Mercedes Benz listened to different versions of that song. Different people recorded the song, and they particularly liked that one, so they picked it for the commercial for Christmas time last year. It started, I think, the last week in November or the first week in December up to the first week in January. I had a chance to see it. They did a good job.
Mm.
They took different excerpts from the song and put it where they thought it should be, and
Hmm.
that's how it went. It was very very good job. I was surprised, very
Wow.
surprised.
Mm. Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah.
it wasn't our song, but it was one of the songs that we recorded, and that was one of the favorite songs that we like. As a matter of fact, talking about that particular song, we usually close the show after we did "In Still the Night." We'd be brought back on stage, and we would sing that song a cappella,
Mm.
sing it in the same exact key, in the key of F, and ended up in the key of F. We didn't go flat,
Mm.
and we would get a standing ovation.
Hmm. Wow. Mm. And you recently you just did an interview not too long ago that you were telling me about. Talk
Yes,
a little bit about that.
with Bruce Morrow, and it was a pleasure speaking with him. He's on Saturday nights on WABC, and I also understand from what I heard, it also went out to LIR in Long Island, and we spoke for about 15, 20 minutes. Very, very good conference. Very
Mm.
nice. He was surprised I was still alive, and how that happened. I went onto YouTube and I saw that he sent something out. So I responded back. I said, "Well, my name is Rich, and I'm still among the living, and I was one of the Five Satins." And immediately, the day after that, one of the people that works with him contacted me, and they were surprised and asked me would I be interested in doing a conference with him over the radio. I said, "Sure, why not?" So what I did, I was able to find a picture of us, what we looked like in the early 50s, and I sent it to him. And he called me about 6 minutes after 7 last Saturday night, and we spoke for about 15, 20 minutes.
Mm.
And also in regards to Bruce, he wrote a book called Doo Wop, and he had a nice picture of us and a nice recitation about the group. And years ago, in the 60s, I believe, he used to have these outdoor concerts at Palisades Park, where he was the MC, and we have maybe about 5 or 6 acts on the show on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, whenever he had it. And we did, I think we did 1 or 2 of the shows for him.
Mm. Nice.
And
Nice.
every time he was on ABC, when ABC was playing straight music, he always played our record. without fail.
Mm. Oh wow, beautiful. So we have about 5 more minutes. Um, I wanted to ask you also, what were some of the labels that your group was signed to?
You'd be surprised. We
Mm,
were on so many different labels. We were on, well, the first label was Ember, uh, Cub Records. Um, oh my God, Atco. Uh, the label I can't think of the label right off the bat. Warner Brothers.
mm,
Another label that Frankie Avalon was on. His particular label. I can't remember the name of that label in particular. Uh, a label called Caprice Records.
mm.
So many labels. Keep the name
Wow.
up here,
Mm,
and it worked. We didn't get any royalties, but kept the name out
mm.
there.
Oh man, wow.
That's how it was.
Which label would you say was the best to you guys?
I would say the first one, Amber, because that really got the group out there,
Okay.
and we stayed with them for about, I'd say about 2 or 3 years. You know, when I first joined the group,
Mm,
and we switched labels.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's a shame, how, a lot of artists, they start young, and that's how they get them. It's just say young and dumb. I'm not saying
Well,
y'all were
not
dumb.
that so much. The thing is, the managers and the people that represented them didn't tell them anything about the business like they should have. Like today's acts, no, they know what they're doing, and they have the right. They have the right managers, and they have the right guidance insofar as getting what they should get, royalties, whatever. None of
Hmm.
that happened during those years. We were
Exactly.
taken advantage of, and that's how it went.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but that's really what it
Unfortunately.
was.
That's right. That's right.
We learned later on, but it was too late.
It's too
Fred
late.
got
Yeah.
his because he came out the service. He went to the publishing company, and they told him what was what. And he was able to retain some of the monies that he was due. And from that point on, every time that record got played or it was remade by whoever, he got his writers' royalties as such, and rightfully so.
Mm, mm,
So I have no problem with that because that's the way it was and it should have been. And I was glad that he was able to get what he deserved. I
hmm.
had no problems with that. And plus, he and I were real close.
Mm, yeah. Wow. Yep. Well, Rich, I tell you, man, it's definitely been a pleasure, and I definitely would like to have you back on the show
Sure.
in the near future.
Hmm.
You know, but before we leave, I also meant was to ask you, what are some of the future um, things that you're working on?
Right now, I'm sort of semi-retired. I haven't done any performances since the last one that we did for TJ Lubinsky, and I'm doing well. I have no health issues. I'll soon be 84 come the end of this month. I'm still
Man,
working.
you don't look it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's not a secret. It's just common sense. I didn't do nothing stupid. By that I mean, I didn't do any drinking. I
Mm,
didn't do no drugs because I knew,
mm.
see, as you see me pointing to my throat, that was my moneymaker. And I knew if I had done anything dumb or idiotic, I wouldn't be around too long.
Mm,
And I go to the doctor when I'm supposed to go, and I take care of myself. And I don't let
mm,
nobody worry my head. I do my own work. I don't need any help.
mm.
And I just try to live my life the best I possibly can.
That's good, man. That's good. You get around well too.
Well, trying to keep up with young folk is not easy, but I do the best I can.
Oh man, yeah, I tell you. But yeah, man, this was a pleasure, man. This is a real
Thank you.
pleasure. I'm gonna look forward to definitely having you back on again soon.
Thank you. And I hope that this goes far, and I hope that others are watching this. I'm not saying this for myself
Mm,
or patting myself on the shoulder. I'm not that kind of a person, but just give people the insight of how things were in those late 50s, 60s, what have you, and
Mm.
other groups went through the same thing that I went through, and some turned out good and some didn't. But depending upon how you looked upon life itself in general, and how you treated your fellow man, and it all comes back,
Right,
and
exactly.
basically taking care of yourself physically as well as mentally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very important. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So thanks again.
No problem.
And definitely we'll have you back.
And I apologize for taking so long to get to you. I've been pretty busy, but I said, well, I'm free tonight, so if we can do this, let's get on with it.
Hey, we made it happen.
Right,
We made it happen.
right,
It's never too late.
right,
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna close out the show now.
right. And keep me
And
informed as you go along. How things turned out. I'd be interested, just out of curiosity, see how this
sure,
turned out. You know what I mean?
definitely, definitely.
Because now I see the way things are. This is what it is, and with AI in the picture now, I know there's a lot more now.
A
I'm
lot
can't
more.
wait what's going on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot more. For
Hmm.
sure. For sure.
You couldn't think about this 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now I'm sitting at home, and you are where you are. We're not even in the studio,
That's it.
and it's going out. What you told me worldwide? What?
Hmm.
10,
Yeah,
15, 20 years ago, this never would have happened. You'd have to be in a big studio in New York or wherever, and that's what it would be. But here you do it from your home. No cameras here, no lights. Like they used to
exactly.
do. They
Yeah.
still do, but in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I learned how to do all this. It was forced on me during the pandemic.
Right. Well, that was a good time because you had nothing but time.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the only way you could actually do these kind of things, interviews and stuff like that, was
Right.
virtually because, the whole COVID thing.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm. Oh yeah. All right. So thanks again, Rich.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Keep me abreast. I'll really be interested to see how this turned out. I really would.
for sure. Definitely. I'll send you the video link.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
And
send it
to
to
the
your
audience
email.
that's watching, thank you very much. God bless, and thank you for having seen us live and on TV, and wishing you the best as the year 2025 comes in.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. Thanks, Rich.
You're quite welcome.
All righty. Take care now.
Right. Take care.
Okay. Okay, folks. Man, that was definitely a treat. That was definitely a treat. One of the legends. Okay. And it won't be the last time that we have him on the show. Okay. So I'm going to close out now. And until the next time, peace.